So, after owning this device for 6 months, I actually think it's the longest I've ever kept a phone, by the way. It's time for me to do a full in-depth review of this thing in 2017. Also, maybe it's relevant due to the S8 leaks and rumours and supposedly coming out soon. Hey guys, Ryan Thomas here with Failtech, and this is my take on owning the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge in 2017. And no, the battery hasn't exploded yet. So, considering this is owning in 2017, the phone isn't actually that old. We're coming out in March of 2016, but I have owned it since August of 2016 because I was a bit tight and didn't want to spend the £600 asking price, so I got it for 400 quid on eBay. Like 20 seconds after it was listed, I just bought it, like spur of the moment thing. Yeah, I'm a cheapskate. Don't judge me, boyos and girlos. The S7 non-Edge actually costs a fair bit less, and I was tempted to go with it, but I wanted the slightly larger screen at 5.5 inches because I'm a snobby cheapskate, not just a regular one. The build and the design is really what intrigued me to buy this thing. Not the QHD screen or the absolutely sick camera, but the design and build. My previous daily was an iPhone 6s Plus in pink, so I was going to be picky about it. The thing is designed impeccably. The glass pieces on both sides make the phone feel well worth the £600 asking price, and the metal rails make it feel even better than the S6 Edge. Yes, so much surface to crack, but if you're careful, it will work. Apart from the immense amount of scratches I got by having it in my pocket, it's actually really good and hasn't cracked. I only got the case for this thing about 6 weeks ago because I was scared of dropping it, but it was 99 pence and came with a film screen protector, so I'm not complaining. Also, I miss the colour of my iPhone. It was pink. So I thought adding a red case might add a dash of fruitiness to it. This is precious and impressive and a great feeling phone, so you might want to have a case on it. Maybe not a 99p one though, because it could break any minute. The curved edges do make the phone feel thinner than it is, and the graspability is improved, I feel. Katie has said that she doesn't like the curved edges due to the fact she has small hands, and the palm rejection is pretty much non-existent at this point, but still. The metal rails have a standard fare of buttons, including lock and volume up and down separate, which I love, by the way. The design is what we've come to expect from a modern Samsung flagship, with the multitasking button on the left, back button on the right of the home button, come fingerprint scanner. The back features a camera, flash and heart rate monitor, same as the previous two Samsung flagships. The screen on this phone is one of the reasons to buy this device, despite the fact it wasn't for me to start with, because I didn't realise. This display is the best in any phone, and I'll stand by that. The combination of the 5.5 inch size, the Super AMOLED technology, and the fact that it's QHD, 1440p for the less informed viewers, is just perfect. I love this display. The curved edges do get some getting used to, but this thing is amazing. I'll be honest, I forgot it was curved having the case on it after 6 weeks. Everything from looking at pictures, to playing games, to watching videos, to browsing social media, to taking photos, the screen makes it all so pleasant. It can oversaturate sometimes, but I stand by the fact that it looks amazing. It just makes it more fun to look at. My favourite, in fact. This is the greatest display I've ever seen on a phone. In fact, no, it's the greatest display I've ever seen. The 12 megapixel camera and f1.7 aperture is another reason to buy this thing. Second to the iPhone for video, I actually prefer this for photos due to the fact you can chuck it in manual for the pros of you. Manual videos and photos look awesome if you can get them right, and you'll actually see some of them on my Instagram. Link will be in the description for that. Just skip through all the stuff with my girlfriend and my pals, and all the photos you see on there are actually shot on phones that I've tested. If you're willing to put up with my pals and my girlfriend, you can actually see some of the selfies from the phones too. A lot of them have been on the S7 Edge due to it being my daily. I love the images and photos that this thing produces. The images look sharp, and so does the 4K video. I'm actually planning on using it in an upcoming video as a B cam. The autofocus is the fastest thing I've ever encountered on anything, especially in video. It is ridiculously good, let alone a smartphone. You could easily vlog with this thing if you hooked up a mic, which you can, by the way, because the jack supports it in the native camera app. It's probably useless of me to say it shoots UHD video at 30 FPS and 720p at 240 FPS view slow-mo, guys. I actually made an advert showcasing the slow motion, so check that bad boy out, link will be in the description. I thought it looked quite good actually. The secondary camera on this phone is my favourite and the best that I've ever used. Not because it can shoot 1440p video, which is super weird but a cool feature that it does have, by the way, but the fact that the super wide angle lens is awesome and it's crossed with a 5 megapixel sensor. The resolution isn't the highest that I've ever used in a phone, but it sure does make a hell of a lot of sense to get all of your mates in the photo with the phone at arm's length. Yeah, other features to note that it can shoot 1440p video at 30 FPS, bit odd that. The performance that this phone gives in its Exynos form, the one I have, is brilliant. Combined with TouchWiz, it works really well with no hiccups whatsoever. I have had to restart the phone when it didn't pick up the Wi-Fi access point at my house, but that was soon fixed in software updates. The system on a chip is an Exynos 8890, which is an 8-core chip that's capable of a lot. It's paired with 4GB of RAM, which is more than enough to keep apps open in the background and enough to make more multitasking easy as well. It handles gaming, content consumption, and therefore social media consumption perfectly well, and handles well even under extensive video recording. The phone can get really warm to the touch after a lot of usage, but it still works and never crashed it. You can get this device in 32, 64, or 128GB configs, and every damn one of those has microSD expansion up to 256GB. Note that in the dual SIM version, the microSD card replaces the second SIM. This is the greatest configuration for storage that I've seen on a phone. The software on this bad boy is in an annoying state because a lot of people are getting the Nougat update, that's 7.0, and I'm not. Oh my god. But seriously, the software is actually really good, and the only problem I've had is that Microsoft Office is installed as bloat and you cannot remove it, you can just disable it, which is super annoying. TouchWiz is actually super useful and enables the S7 Edge's cool features like the heart rate monitor, and S-Health, which is a tool I never thought I'd actually use but is super useful. I wish I could root and install custom ROM and a custom software on it, but I'm not going to risk bricking a phone that cost me £400. It's decently smooth and runs without hiccups 95% of the time. I do actually like the app drawer and notification drawer too. The overall aesthetic is a little bit polarizing, but you do get used to it after a while. Battery life has seriously degraded since I started using the quick charge, which is what I expected after having the thing push double the current to the battery. I really do regret turning quick charge on now, as you can in the settings, because the 3600 mAh cell is not removable, but hey ho. That's right, the 5.5 inch S7 Edge has a battery 100 mAh bigger than the 5.7 inch Note 7, but we all know how that ended up, right? Anyway, I get about 3 to 5 hours of screen on time depending on what I'm doing. It will often last me from 9 till 9 with limited usage, but it was a lot better when I was using dash charge. This thing would last me like 24 hours with the same usage when I was charging it without the feature on. The thing does have wireless charging too, which is quite good, but I only got to use it at a mate's house once because the charging base does not come with this device, just the cable and the wall wart. The speaker is alright, I quite like it, but it's small and relatively distorted. It does get loud enough, but I use Apple EarPods 95% of the time. Triggered. Nothing compared to the Nexus 6 setup that I love though. The charging port is a controversial micro USB Type B, which is rather annoying considering a lot of phones at this time were implementing Type C, but at least you can find a charger more easily because they're definitely more common. The features like wireless charging, heart rate monitor, quick fingerprint scanner may I add, and IP68 rating, that's right, this thing is IP68 rated even with those exposed ports, are quite useful but not as much of a big deal than the Super AMOLED screen and awesome camera, as well as the stupidly cool build. In conclusion, do I recommend the S7 Edge? If you have a slightly larger hands, then yes. If you have small hands, maybe not. Maybe go for the normal S7. If you want an absolutely gorgeous phone with an even more gorgeous screen and amazing camera, then yes. This is the best all-in-one for me. Best screen, second or third best camera, decent sized battery, amazing aesthetics, the most featureful and at a decent price too. This is my favourite phone at the moment. It's just a shame I never got to test the Note 7. That thing may have actually beaten it. Ripperoni and pepperonis, boyos and goylos.